least this time it's with music.
Yeah.
That was awkward.
Last episode we faked it. It was weird.
The last two.
I pulled it off.
Do you want to get it in there twice?
Sorry. I was not paying a bit of attention.
It's like doing a podcast at a dollar store.
Start with welcome.
Don't say the name.
Which
Don't
one?
say the name.
Welcome to Mountaineer Kingdom Dude Talk. Real men, manly talk.
What was that?
No, I spit, man.
Well, this is off to a great start.
Hey, we're back in studio.
We'll do it live.
Back at the Family Dollar.
You said the name. Don't say the name.
Really?
Dollar Tree.
Don't say the name.
Copyright.
Trees that are made out of dollars.
Thank you.
I was
go back
going to make a joke and I can't do it. It's
I'll go
not
back
appropriate.
and beep them out.
It could be offensive. Never stopped me before. So,
Let's go. Since when do you care?
Don't stop believing.
Don't.
it is different being back in here instead of being out in the woods.
I love being in the woods, but man, I love having these headsets back on.
Yeah, I like
Also,
being
like
able to
whenever-
hear something.
It's easier to get close to the mic instead of putting the mic up.
Well, we have a couple of our members that don't understand how to use a microphone.
You're like, yeah, you can't use the mic. You can't come tonight.
The one that's not here.
It took me 3 weeks to edit that last episode.
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden you hear,
When he did the speech, and it's like it was a great speech, and
Benjamin Netanyahu. Choose.
we're over getting fired up, and then you listen.
That's all you heard.
Well, hey, it sounded great on the rendition. Hey, by the way, Nick is the one who does all of the editing and stuff for this, so a round of applause for Nick. Go ahead and that soundboard.
I'm not hitting the soundboard.
And do not hit the soundboard.
No, it's I edit.
and
I
one
edit
day-
it.
There's a really good clap sound in there.
Nope, I
and-
shut it off.
And one day Nick's going to learn how to actually do this.
Yeah, but seriously, he does a great job putting us all together. It just I want to put a shout out, Nick.
For what you had to do to get some audio out of the last two videos. I mean, one were beside the river, and that was, I don't know how that was even possible to get what you got out of it. And then the other part,
Most of us talked in the microphone.
I did.
Yeah.
I didn't.
I know. You were there.
Coach Ryan struggled.
And then the one with by the fire, what cracked me up was as close as we still were to the river, that we heard the helicopter over the river for like 5 minutes. And it's like, are they just watching us? Yeah. We don't have to relive it. So that was fun. And
And I'm going
always
to tell
enjoy-
myself, too. I'm going to say why we had such a struggle with... I'm going to tell myself. So we drug all the equipment out to the middle of nowhere, and I forgot one vital piece of equipment. This little box right here.
Box.
It
Should share.
Should share. Subscribe. So it takes the audio from this cool panel right here, converts it to digital, and then puts it into the laptop.
Yeah.
Well, I forgot this little cool piece right here that converts it from here to here. So you know what I did? I shoved a cell phone into these headsets, and it recorded on the cell phone.
So you re-recorded it.
Yeah. And then put it in the studio and
Pretty incredible stuff.
cleaned it up.
I would have said, guys, we got to go back and do it again.
I'd second that. I think we need to go back and re-record.
All in favor?
Yeah. We need to get
Maybe some different topics.
We need to get the entire journey down this time.
I have it. It's on
From
video.
the house?
From the start of the trail all the way down. It's on video.
Apparently, you don't watch some of our content.
No, there's too much.
It hasn't been put on YouTube's yet.
YouTube's?
Yeah, YouTube's.
Okay.
There's more than one now.
All right.
Let's get into this week's
Speaking
episode.
of different topics, this week's episode, we're going to, the next several episodes, just want to do some actual interviews, and we're just going to interview each other, get to know
Who we are.
and I'm sure we're, as much as we already know, we're going to learn something. And that's going to be fun. One of the things, and I think no joke, when you and I went and saw Perry Stone a couple years ago, this was a bonding moment here because we had been in the woods and we hung out a lot.
Yeah.
And this was one of the first times we talked about a podcast.
Yep.
And I got to know about your mom a little bit, about your dad a little bit, what that was like, where your upbringing was, your family, remarriages, or your dad being remarried a couple times. And it was just a natural conversation that after a minute or two, it's like, man, I feel like I'm just like interviewing this guy. But we all have a background and a story and a history, and a testimony, and some of the struggles that we had at a younger age that we grew up with has shaped us to be the men that we are. And I think it's fun to dive into that and see what makes us tick. Like when our Monday traditions, you sitting there with you and Amanda and just like asking questions, and it's so intriguing to get different point of views and different aspects.
We eat wings
Monday
on
tradition.
Monday.
Okay.
So every Monday,
50-cent wings.
It's amazing.
Yep. And we started probably about 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 weeks. I don't remember. We started with you actually, and then we invited these guys, and now it's just become a.
Once I'm invited, you can't get rid of me. That's your fault.
Well, bye.
So Jarrod is going to be our first interviewee today. So Jarrod, tough question. You ready? Where are you from?
Here. No.
I want the soundboard now. No, I'm kidding.
Morgantown.
Morgantown, born and raised?
Yep.
What is your quest?
Pick your class.
Triple A.
Always absent Andy.
Nice.
That was Monty Python. Quest for
how
Holy
that
Grail. Nobody
backfired
got
on
that.
So one sister. How many siblings?
So I have one biological sister, and then I've got 2 stepsisters and a stepbrother. And really, the step siblings don't feel like step siblings. They feel a little bit more biological.
So when did that? So let's go back to just bio sister. We'll call her.
Yes. Bio
That
sister.
was. How long did you guys live with her before the step siblings came into the picture?
So my mom died when I was 9,
Mm-hmm.
and my dad got remarried when I was 12, 13,
Okay.
something like that. Yeah,
Was it just the one remarriage?
it was the one lady twice.
Okay. I might have
Yeah.
a very similar.
So
Now I do. I found out. What was the relationship like with? So we don't have to dive into what happened when you were 9,
mhm.
but getting a stepmom, right? So you were with your dad dad and sister for 3 years, and now there's somebody new into the picture. What was that like?
Initially it was really cool, and because I mean my sister and I are 7 years apart, so for the 3 years after my mom died, she pretty much helped take care of me and raise me.
Mm-hmm.
My dad worked afternoon and midnight shift, so I would get out of school, get home, and it was my sister there making sure that my McDonald's was warmed up correctly in the microwave, because it's about all Dad knew how to cook.
Where did your dad work at?
Machine shop in Morgantown,
Okay.
rebuilding jacks for mines,
Okay.
and so every time the mines went on strike, he got laid off.
And was church a big part of your life
Huge.
from birth, or?
Mhm. Yep. Yeah. The pastor that actually dedicated my kids dedicated me when I was a baby.
That
And
wasn't
then
Crabtree, was it?
It was.
It was.
Mhm.
Wow. See, I've always, I told myself, don't derail, but I never really got to, I think I heard one sermon from Pastor Crabtree,
Same.
but he was ready to retire, so it wasn't what you probably grew up with. And I'm sure, as we all do, that changed along the years.
Yeah. No. I mean, it was always good. And during the time of when my mom was in the hospital, he was always around
Mm-hmm.
and made many visits to the hospital and checked on me, checked on my dad, my sister, and he was a huge part of my life. And when I left that church and went to a different church in Morgantown for a while, Serena and I, when we got married, went back there, and it was probably, I may have been gone maybe 8 years, 9 years, and he saw me in the hallway, and he's sharp as a whistle, and he came up, gave me a hug, and says, "Jarrod," he goes, "it's been a while since I've seen you, and please introduce me to your bride." And,
That's a great way to ask a question. I love that.
It was fantastic, and we just felt it was funny is when we were joining the church, we had to go through the interview process with Pastor Crabtree, and he kept having to remind himself that he knew all of my history from my grandparents on both sides all the way up to I was an adult, but he kept wanting to go back to that. And he's like, oh, wait a minute, Serena, I need to know more about you. And he'd ask her a question. She'd go to answer. Hey, Jarrod, do you remember this?
Oh, he'd fit in great here.
He was
do that all day.
he was that kind of a guy, and like you get to know him, and you knew him forever. So it was good. So it was tough when he passed away.
Yeah. When I'm just so interested with the history of that church and what his legacy was, and you were there for a lot of it.
Mm-hmm.
I know Trinity was in several different places. Were you always, so when you went to that church, was it always where it is now, or was it?
No, so we started, my kids are actually the 4th generation there.
Okay.
So my grandparents on my mom's side started going there. Then they convinced my dad and mom to go. And then obviously we were kids. So
jumping back to Serena, since Andy's not going to ask any questions, you guys met in college, work, high school?
Facebook, actually.
And that's it, ladies. I'm just kidding. Facebook.
Yeah, so we went to high school together. We didn't know each other. And
same age? She's younger than you?
She's younger than me, yeah.
2 years?
She's a couple years younger,
okay.
yeah. And found out we had a lot of the same friends and started hanging out. And next thing you know, we're getting married.
Wow.
She puts up with my shenanigans.
She is a quiet soul.
Yes, she is actually.
No, there was a pause. So she's not always quiet?
No, she is actually.
No, she's pretty quiet.
Yeah.
She's pretty quiet.
So she would murder you in your sleep, but she'd be quiet about it.
Yes, she would.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
See,
it's all right. She never watches.
That's kind of interesting of how just not reserved, but she's very thoughtful. You can tell she's unlike me because I'm always going to be putting my foot in my mouth all the time and apologizing later. But she's very.
You apologize?
She actively listens. Not to you. Your
funny
kids are so intense.
Yeah, so
as most of ours are, and it's interesting with that dynamic, such a quiet, reserved mother to have that intensity.
So the funny thing is we're both introverted.
They're not,
and I'm slightly less introverted than what she is. Their extrovertness comes from my dad.
Oh, Papaw.
Because old Papaw would talk to anybody about anything.
Yeah.
Whether you wanted to hear it or not.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, Nick's got some stories from the headsets.
Oh, gosh.
That,
I've heard some of them.
Probably not appropriate for this podcast.
They're there for a while. Like, it was the running joke when I ran the camera after Dad died was, hey, Nick, went to Starbucks last night. And that's the chuckle I'd get out of him on the headset, and then we just kind of move on. And it was kind of fun was everyone else had no clue what, because most of the people that run camera now did not run camera like my dad.
The old days.
So you meet Serena, who you meet on Facebook. You message her, she messaged you.
She messaged me actually.
Look at you, stud.
Yeah.
Ooh. Oh, hey, girl.
So
I got a car.
she had an Eclipse at the time,
and that's why
was it a GT Spider?
It was a Spider. It was not a GT.
Did it have those like little wind scoops on the side?
Do the scoops again.
Scoopty?
It was a 2009, or not 2009. It was 2007.
Oh yeah, they didn't do that.
So it was a
swoopy,
like exotic body style.
How long were you? How long have you been married?
13 years.
Wow. Doesn't seem like. I mean, we're going on 11 or going on 12, but it's like, man, it doesn't seem like it's been that long.
No, it doesn't, and don't want to sound cliche, but we've just 13 years that just seems to have flown by, and I love her more today than I did 13 years ago.
She doesn't watch the show, dude.
I know.
That did something for me though.
I don't think it did. You've been going to Trinity your whole life. You've not always been in the sound booth. Have you served in different areas, or how long?
No, so
how long have you been doing that too?
Actually, I didn't serve anywhere until we went back after I got married.
Okay.
And Pastor Crabtree actually had sent me a letter asking if I would join the usher team. And I looked.
It's a great place to start.
I looked at Serena. I was like, well, Pastor Crabtree wants me to join. I'm joining. And I sent him back. He had it was an RSVP card, and I had to put down, yes, I was willing to serve.
Old school.
Put it in, mailed it back to him. He saw me at church the next week. He goes, glad to see you wanted to join. Dress code is suit and tie, dark suit. And we'll have your name tag ordered for you.
They don't do that anymore. What a great question to ask, because I know Newsom talked about that. It's like when he started doing the parenting class was, are you willing to serve?
Yep. That was always Pastor Crabtree's.
How could we not that know and have experienced the love of our Father? How are we not willing to serve in any way that we can for everything that he's done for us?
Oh, yeah.
That's so smart. I love that.
And I did that for a couple of years, and then they needed me in the to run the prayer presenter for the words on the screen.
Yeah, I did that for about a month, and I'm like, nope.
Yeah, I remember that.
I don't like messing the words up.
I think it was one of the first times that you and I met was
Thanks, Nick.
running that.
What?
I'm just saying thanks.
What are you looking at me for?
Because you're a tech guy. Nobody likes that job.
It's a whole different side of the tech.
I don't. Cool. Pro presenter.
Yeah.
Tech's tough.
So I ran prayer presenter. I actually led that team after the guy that ran it left. He moved to
Somewhere.
yeah, like South Dakota or something. And he comes back every once in a while, Cliff. And but then one Sunday Jeff was the worship leader at the time. He came back. He goes, hey, we got a problem. Heard you used to run sound at another church. I said, yeah, but it was like an old analog board, and all I did was move a fader up and down every once in a while.
It's a boombox guy.
And yeah, that's basically all it was.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, we got a problem. All three of our sound guys are going to be out next week, and I need you to run sound next week.
It's always sink or swim, isn't it?
And so I was like, okay. And walked over to the sound booth, and Steve gave me a crash course that Sunday. And the next week, I'm there running it, and I had no idea what the verb and delay was. And I saw the faders down, and I saw signal on them. I was like, well, shoot, this should be up. And I turned him up, and Jeff got on the microphone, very tactful, and he goes, Jarrod, you may already know this, but on faster songs, it's not good to have delay. On slower songs, it sounds better.
This is what I get for stepping out once. Yeah.
And then I've just never left the soundboard. Like, I think I've been back there maybe 10 years.
Wow. Do you ever see yourself doing anything, serving in a different ministry or doing something different?
We were talking about this at lunch today, and how, like, I've been back there for 13 years, almost every Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it feels like to be in the rest of the sanctuary. Like, poor Serena, like, everyone around her outside now, I'm really glad that she sits around your all's wives and you guys, because then she's not, like, shouldn't have some deadbeat husband that doesn't go to church.
I don't know about that.
It's usually me.
Yeah, Tanya.
But, like,
So there's times, and I've not served as much as you have, that he's like, you want to run cameras today? I'm like, I really don't. I want to go sit. I need to go sit down.
yeah, I've had those times, but to be honest about it, I went through a real tough patch with a previous employer,
Mm-hmm.
and running that soundboard was the only thing that kept me from wanting to jump off a bridge. Like,
Literally.
running it there, and because it gave me something that I could do, that I had control over.
Mm-hmm.
Because my life was in a spiral, just spiraling down into a toilet. Kind of wondering where the bottom was going to be at, because every time we thought we hit it, we found another bottom.
Wow.
And so running that soundboard, coming in on Wednesdays and on Sundays, and all the special events and everything, kept me focused on something that was actually good.
It was worthwhile
Mm-hmm.
because you're serving the kingdom.
Yep.
And although you're in the background, without what that tech booth does, then the message doesn't reach as many people as it could. And that's I love the people on stage and the worship teams and all the people that get the attention, because they're good at it and they're called to be in that time and that place. But it's the guys in the back that don't get all the credit sometimes. It's like, without them, none of that happens, and it's a teamwork.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's what you do during church. Share with us if you want what do you do for a living.
I work in one of the most boring industries in the world.
Cars.
Insurance.
No, I'm kidding. Insurance.
Yep.
Yeah,
Commercial insurance.
We'll just move on. I'm already
Yep.
bored of this topic. You've been doing that for how long?
Too long.
Too long.
No, about 10 years. Started out in Pittsburgh. Drove from Brewston Mills to Pittsburgh every day for 3 years. Yeah. It was it was fun. It was good. Like I mean, I went to college, got my degree in business management, and worked on my MBA, and was at NASA in security while I was in college, and they offered me a security supervisor role, and I was like, yeah, I didn't spend all this money to work shift work, all this money in college to work shift work for the rest of my life.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
And got it. The only person that was willing to take a chance on me was an agency in Pittsburgh.
Well,
We're still friends today. Like, I'm actually planning on going to meet him for breakfast this Saturday.
What are you gonna have for breakfast?
Probably French toast.
Eggs Benedict, Hollandaise sauce.
Sausage.
It's not your turn. You're next. So we're going to wrap up because we don't want to go too long on this. It's just a little get to know you. But a couple of questions that I want to end with is, what do you value most and why?
I absolutely value my walk with Jesus the most.
Mm-hmm.
Because my life is one testimony after another as to why and how God will work through your problems and your situations. And when you think that you're absolutely at the bottom of the bottom, He's already had a plan figured out for you. You just had to go through the ride.
So that was going to be my last question, but you segued right into it, and I think you kind of gave an answer there. We all have a testimony. We all have a walk that we've went through life and ups and downs. What's your testimony? What is it that God has brought you through and prepared you for to pass on and to teach to people that you can help them out?
Now, I'd have to say my entire life is. I mean, losing my mom when I was 9, she committed suicide.
Mm-hmm.
To my dad being remarried, which worked out good for a while, but they had a really rocky relationship.
Mm-hmm.
They were married, separated, married, separated, married, separated, married, divorced, started dating, married, divorced.
Wow. And
over a course of about 12 years. And so, like, going through that, and then when I was at NASA, I did have a job opportunity at the prison in Hazleton.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I just don't really want to do that. Like, I went up and interviewed with it. You get that nasty feeling in your gut. It's like, this isn't what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah. And
I remember praying. I was like, well, God, if you've got something else for me, please open the door up. About the time that I went and interviewed, the government shut down, and so they couldn't do my background check.
Yeah.
And I was like, if you don't have anything else for me by the time the government opens up, I'll go work there until you find something else. In the meantime, a friend of mine introduced me to the guy who ran the agency up in Pittsburgh. Went up, interviewed, came back, and I called my wife on the way home. I was like, this is it. And he offered me a job. I accepted. 30 seconds later, the guy that was doing the background check calls me up to start my background investigation.
Oh, wow.
Oh, no.
That's okay. We don't need to do that now.
Yeah, and that's what I told him. He goes, are you sure? I said, yep. I've accepted just got off the phone and accepted another position.
Wow.
So then fast forward to, I left Pittsburgh
Mm-hmm.
to go work private equity. That turned out to be a disaster. And left out of that, and I was interviewing at a spot at the FBI. Got the spot. Right before they started my background check, the government shut down again.
You're not supposed to go anywhere.
So
The government is not for you.
right? The government does not want me. So the agent that I worked for up in Pittsburgh, I went up and met with him. He goes, Jarrod, it's stupid for you to drive 90 miles each way to work. He goes, it just doesn't work. I know a guy down in Clarksburg who's got a really good agency. I'll set something up for you. He said, I know you don't want to get back in insurance, but you're good at it. And I said, all right. So I went interviewed, told Serena, they offer me X amount of dollars. I'm going to take it. We're on our way to church for Christmas experience rehearsal. I get a phone call from the principal of the agency I work for. Offer me exactly what I told Serena I needed to make. I accepted. The next day, the FBI started calling me to start my background investigation.
I mean, honestly, just hearing that part, it's your testimonies. Just wait on the Lord. Listen, right? If you're in tune with His voice, you'll feel it in your spirit, and you'll get it by spending time in the Word and prayer to understand what His voice is. Because it could be a gut feeling. It could just be a mind check, or it could be something that maybe a colleague or your wife or somebody spiritual that gives you wise counsel would understand. And it's you being in tune to that.
Well, I feel like from a professional standpoint, one of my biggest regrets was leaving Pittsburgh to go work for the private equity company.
Still,
because the heartache that came from that. I don't really want to get into what happened there, just
too
because
bad. I'm kidding.
Just because the wounds are fresh, and the people who might listen to the podcast may be hurt by some of the stuff.
I was waiting for you to say, and our next guest.
And but yeah,
Fake
we
clap.
only got a couple minutes left. But had I not done that, I don't think I would have been able to succeed as well in the role that I'm in now.
Gotcha.
Because what I didn't know before was just the standard business code, the unwritten code. Wear this, not that. Do this at a meeting, not this. Act this way at a dinner, not this way. And I spent a lot of time with extremely wealthy folks. Spent a lot of time with governors and senators, and was able to walk up to a Fortune 10 CEO and have a drink with him and talk. And I would get back home from being on a private jet, get in my Toyota Corolla at the airport, and drive back to my house and throw some wood in the fire.
Well, we don't get heat.
Yeah, that's it. So, but that allowed me in this role that I'm in now, managing a very large commercial department, where we're working with customers anywhere from a small mom and pop restaurant to $2-3 million in premium, extremely wealthy individuals. I have no fear at all being introverted. I still have no fear walking into a boardroom with a multimillionaire, because I've talked with billionaires.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't. I would have never been able to do that. Prior to that, I'd walk into a room with a customer, and I was scared out of my mind. And my jacket didn't fit right. It wasn't tailored. It wasn't. You guys make fun of me, but like that's all stuff that
We never would do such a thing.
But like it's all stuff that
This water seems dry.
What is this?
What is this, Niagara water?
I read it wrong. I'm like, I don't know what this is going to be. I'm just going to go.
So, but yeah, no, it's God has every step you go to, every step you go through. If you are putting your trust in Him, He will guide your steps. The Bible is true that the steps of a righteous man, and that's everything. Every step that I took, even if it felt like it was the wrong step, may not have been God's perfect will, but He found a way to make it into something that has actually worked out pretty good.
Yeah. Got on. Well, thanks for sharing. Last question.
Yes.
Last question. One do-over. You get one do-over to even if it's something small as I would have been kinder to a person, a stranger. You get one do-over, what would it be?
not have listened to some of the people in my life when I was a kid.
Okay. And without going into detail, how did see how I caught myself? I was pulling the news and being back here, and I heard how did that
Microphone.
I don't want to go into something that's going to be that we don't want to share too much about, but you don't have to tell me what advice it was, but how did that shape you?
It shaped me tremendously because there were people in my life that I trusted in my middle school years that they basically told me I was an idiot. I mean, not in those words, but like I've always struggled with spelling, and because of that I was technology's amazing for that. But
it's like being bad at math, but I got a calculator. Come on, right. I'm always going to have a calculator.
But it was stuff like that telling me because I had a hard time spelling that I should have been in special ed, and so I didn't believe in myself.
Mm-hmm.
And
hey, math teachers out there, guess what? You won't have a calculator in your hand when you grow up. Ha!
My biggest regret is I didn't get into engineering.
Okay.
And because my passion for automobiles, I would have loved to have been an automotive engineer.
You like automobiles?
You're still young.
Yeah, but like there was stuff that I studied in computer science class in high school, and I would draw out different things on a car, and fast forward 15 years, and that's what's being put on cars.
Wow.
So, and it just makes sense.
Right on. But that's all I got. Thanks for sharing.
Sure.
Subscribe.
Do you want to do that? Like, share, subscribe.
Subscribe.
You want to close this out?
Yeah.
Men.
Oh, we're gonna do it. So I knew most of that, but what I find fun about these conversations is hearing the passion and truth. Like, and here you can hear the motivations almost, and just asking simple questions and seeing where they go. Thanks for sharing. That's fun.
Yeah.
Andy has nothing to be thankful for.
No.
And our audience is getting to know us a little bit better through this Spotlight series.
Yeah, they're going to get to certain people and not want to.
Andrew.
Come on down. Anyways, that's our episode for today. Thanks for watching. We do appreciate anytime you could share, help us get the word out.
Yep.
Share. Give us a like. Give us if you recommend us to a friend to get us a subscription out of it. We'd appreciate that.
Visit our website at mkdudtalk.com. That looked like you just beat it into submission right there. That's what it looked like, and we'll make
peen hammer.
I'll come up with a new one just for whatever you just did right there.
Please don't. I miss the river. Anyways,
visit our website and check out the. Yeah, rain. That was a good episode too.
It was until the rain.
If you'd like to get in contact with us, visit our social media platforms and our email as well, mkdudtalk@gmail.com. So we got an absent one tonight. He had a meeting. How dare he?
I think it was a ball game.
Coach.
No, it was.
No, the meeting's tomorrow.
Oh.
Why do I know his schedule more than mine?
I know, it's sad.
Anyways.
It's sad.
So for the yes man, Jarrod, MKAAA Andy.
You
got two.
Dose.
The absent Coach Ryan, our host, Josh. I am Nick for Mountaineer, Kingdom Dude Talk, Real Men, Manly Talk.
Cue the stupid dance.
We're gonna spotlight him. Camera's solely on him.
Are we still on?
Yeah. Andy's the man.
I don't know if
Do that?
He just Ricky Bobbied it.
He did something.
All right, we're out.